I got to tell you, he had a leg up on you. He brought coffee and donuts, and you're calling in.
Well, you know what? I am saving the taxpayers' money. That is exactly what he would probably do when he gets to Congress, and I just think that's a misuse of spending.
What are you,
really
David? What are you guys, David Schweikert and Ben Quayle now, or what? What's going on?
Being a true conservative will just give you the words and say, "Look, this is what we're going to do. I'm not going to buy your vote when I get to Congress."
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Give money back to you.
Now, you got a legitimate reason to not be here this morning. You are on the road. You're in California. You just took your son to college.
Yes, I am standing right in front of the Staples Center, and he is going to the University of Southern California. But do you know what? We were so blessed, Jim, because we could not afford it because it is a tremendous amount. But he won the prestigious Jackie Robinson Scholarship. He won the Ronald McDonald Scholarship, and the university was very good to him. He's wanted to go here ever since he was in the third grade. But really quickly, someone yesterday, they said it must be a very difficult decision for you to make to decide whether to drive your son to school or to remain on the phone campaigning. And I said, no, quite frankly, it's a very easy decision because I always said that I always wanted to be the father that I never had. And I don't care how many votes I lose by driving my son to school and getting him tucked away. And to me, that's the most important thing.
And checking out who his roommate is and who's that dude next door and what do I smell what I think I smell in the dorm? And
exactly. And that is a girl right there, son, because he went to Brophy, which is an all-boys school.
That's right. He did go to Brophy. That's funny. So I'll ask you the same question I asked Travis yesterday to lead off this interview, and that is, why do you think you can be a member of Congress, Vernon Parker?
Well, Jim, it's called experience. I have testified in front of Congress countless times. I've been unanimously confirmed by the United States Senate, and that's a very good point because people don't realize to be unanimously confirmed by the United States Senate is a very difficult thing. It shows that I can work with both parties. And on top of that, I served as a special assistant to President George H.W. Bush in the White House. I was an assistant secretary in Washington, D.C. I was the mayor of Paradise Valley, where I did cut spending by 30%. But the biggest thing is this. When I get to Washington, I will not be enamored by being called a member of Congress. I will realize why I was sent there, and that was to serve the people. I will not be bullied by party leadership because I've been there. It's not going to be something that's going to be, wow, I am a member of Congress. I realize one thing about the members is that they put their pants on one leg at a time, and
some of them never put pants on, and that's a big problem, though. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I am near the Pacific Ocean, so
be careful about skinny dipping if you're a member of Congress, please.
Absolutely, but I think what really truly I don't think I know what truly distinguishes me from the rest of the field, both on the Democratic and the Republican side, is experience and being able to truly hit the ground and go instantly without a learning curve whatsoever.
It's funny because you hear people saying, I'm an outsider, and what you're saying here is that not that you're an insider, but that you have some experience in Washington, and you think that'll benefit you. The next question, I just want to be fair about all this, I'm sorry, did you want to expand on that, Vernon?
Yeah, I mean, that's like saying I want to be a world-class chef, but I never stepped foot in a kitchen before, It just doesn't make sense.
Right. What will be your biggest issue when you get to Congress? Is it as he said yesterday, the economy or the overspending? Is it Obamacare? What's the number one issue when you get there as a freshman in Congress?
Jim, I've knocked on thousands of doors. We are making literally 6,000 to 7,000 phone calls per day.
Wow.
And I phone people all the time, and I talk to them, and I say, what is your biggest concern? And it's jobs. And people are losing their homes. People are on unemployment. We have, since 2007, we have 47 million people more on food stamps. But my number one priority will be to bring equality in the workforce back to the United States because we have the highest corporate income tax in the world, the highest. We cannot compete with China. We cannot compete with India. We cannot compete with any other country because our corporate income tax is the highest in the world. But not only the corporate income tax, the regulatory structure that we have, it is abominable. When investors invest, they invest in certainty, and there's too much uncertainty, and we must be competitive in the global workforce to get jobs back to America. And the other thing that people don't realize is that in Washington, D.C., you have mindless bureaucrats who are sitting behind a desk passing regulations that have a regulatory effect on small businesses. And they have the same effect as a law, but Congress does not review them. And so when you combine all of these things, a regulatory system that is out of control, the highest corporate income tax in the world, there is a reason why we don't have jobs. And I will stand on the bully pulpit and I will work with parties to say, let's bring jobs back to America. Let's become more competitive. And I also believe Obamacare is just out of control, too. Never before in American history have we told a small business that if you hire more than 50 employees who work 39 hours a week, that we will penalize you. What happens when you're employee number 51? What happens if you're employee number 52? Guess what? You get fired or you don't get hired. That is not American, and that is not America.
And just for full disclosure purposes, I've known Vernon for a while. I actually worked on Vernon's campaign before I came back and went back to radio. So just so that's out there on the table. But, I'm very familiar with the story because of that, because that was one of the jobs I did was to try to tell your story. Being as you were raised in poverty and you didn't know your father and, you had some amazing doors open to you through the years. A lot of people, I think, are like they may be worried that you're some kind of welfare Manchurian candidate or something. That when you get it there, you're like, oh no, I remember what it was like to be a poor black kid growing up in Long Beach and all this. But you actually think that the welfare state is a bad society.
Yeah, you know what? I've always said that when a government handout becomes a government handcuff, that's when we know that our society is going to sink further. I can tell you this, Jim. I saw the destruction of the families when I grew up on welfare because they had welfare workers who would come into the house and they would look in your closet. And guess what they would be looking for?
What?
Men's clothing. Because if you had a man in the house, then you wouldn't get the welfare. But I will tell you this. My mother was on welfare for a short period of time. My grandmother was, and probably just about many of my family, too. And what I noticed was that I like to call it the tale of two families because my father's side of the family, they were on welfare, too. And then on mother's side, they moved to Southern California. They got jobs. They got off of welfare. They owned their homes. They owned their own cars. Their kids have all gone to college. On my father's side, they still live in government housing, and it is a generational trust fund that they pass out, given to them by the government, given to them by the Democratic Party to say that, look, we will take care of you because you can't take care of yourself. That is wrong. People should work, and people will feel a lot better off for themselves. And so, no, I am not the welfare Manchurian candidate. What I want to do is to make sure that future generations realize that the only way that you can have success is hard work. And this country, Jim, it is so great. It is a powerful country because this country said to all citizens that you can be what you want to be. And my grandmother, she always told me one thing. She told me this. She said, never let anyone steal your dream. She couldn't read, she couldn't write, and she wanted something better for her grandchildren. And to her, that was the American dream. And she couldn't articulate that, but the American dream to her was that, you can be what you want to be and never let anyone else steal your dreams. And that dream has to be restored for future generations. And that is why I am running.
All right. Vernon Parker. Hey, one last thing before I let you go. Vernon Parker joining us by phone. He's running for Congress in CD9. He's dropping his son off at college, so that's why he's joining us by phone.
Yes.
Travis Grantham told me
on Wednesday I will bring coffee.
Okay,
I'm joking.
No, but Travis Grantham told me something off the air I thought was pretty cool. You guys have a gentleman's agreement. We're not going to go negative on this campaign, and I think that's a really great thing. I hope I'm not putting any secrets out there.
We have adhered to that with each other. Mr. Sepulveda has resorted to gutter politics, but I will tell you this: voters want to know what are you going to do for them, not destroy other candidates. And so shame on him, but God bless us because we have upheld that.
All right. Very good. Hey, have a safe trip back, Vernon. Best luck to your son there, and we'll talk soon.
I love the junk man.
He loves the junk man. Has to throw that. The junk man has to get some props on the show. Hey, thanks.
I love him. Okay, guys, take care.
You got to love the host, man. That's what it comes down to.